From the very beginning, they all believe that I'm Indian, and then when I say that I'm Roma, people slightly change their attitude. A cousin of mine, she got married with a priest, with a Romanian guy, and you know, the priest is something that is respected in a community, and she didn't invite us to her wedding because she didn't want her husband's family to find out that she's a Roma.
They've been persecuted first by Catholic Church, move on to genocide in Nazi Germany. After the Jews, Roma were the second largest group to be exterminated. And you know, always in communist era in different countries, they were segregated into settlements.
The Roma communities, they were forced to live outside the villages or outside the cities, in forests. They were denied the right, you know, for the child to go into schools. They were only given, you know, like very low paid jobs.
Czech and Slovak governments who were realistically they were segregating Roma into special schools without them needing special education needs, and that practice still continues.
When I was registered in first year in school, the person who was doing this registering, they put me in a class with all the Roma kids from the school. They made a special class just for us. So my mother realized that, and she knew that this is gonna affect my results later on. And then she argued with the school, and she said, "Listen, it's not good. I want my kid to be with all the rest of the kids." And so we've been lucky because one of the teachers was from the same village with my mother, and she accepted to move me in another class. And as a result, I was the only one who went to further education. After that, all the rest of the Roma kids, they dropped school after a few years.
I suppose the main issue would be survival, in the sense of most, not all of course, but most are working on very low salaries, often below the minimum wage, because they're working as self-employed people, and therefore they're really scraping by. They're often living, one housing block may have one room for each Roma families. You may have 5 families in one housing unit. So sort of day-to-day existence is a key issue. But there are some other issues that affect Roma. One specifically is, and this has increased over the last few years, of Roma being removed from the country. It's called administrative removal, as the government calls it. And the government feels that someone who isn't using their EU freedom of movement rights should be removed from the country. And this seems to be targeted at those on very low incomes, specifically Roma.
I think people, even British people or other communities, have absolutely no fear of something might happen if I say something against a gypsy, against a Roma. And it's happening here, and it's happening in the home countries as well. In this period, the Roma community is the most disadvantaged in whole the Europe. Human rights is very evolved and it's quite strong in UK. Yeah, here people find it better to integrate and to do well. In their home countries, in Romania, for example, if they will go, because see, in Romania the mixture of communities is not very big. So if you'll see someone with a bit more darker skin or something, you will know for sure this guy is a gypsy.
I think the main difference is Roma in this country feel that they're just a migrant, they're just another, and particularly in cities tend to blend in well. But otherwise they tend to be, I mean, this came from when we did the education research. Parents were saying, well, here they just think we're another migrant, might be India, might be from some other country. We're just treated fairly equally. Whereas in our own countries, we were singled out as being Roma and discriminated against or sworn at or whatever else because we were Roma. And I think that's a big difference. And though I've seen changes in Slovakia in more recent times with more inclusion in many areas, I still see that big difference between Roma and the majority white population.
For example, in the home countries, we need like strong laws to protect the rights of the Roma community. I think when a very famous known person like a musician or someone who's doing some sport or something comes up and say, I'm a Roma, I'm doing this, and I think this is influencing like big time.
Roma musicians for centuries have always had that high position because they played weddings and funerals and things for non-Roma.